Hi. Um, I'm going to talk about something that's really difficult. And it's difficult because nobody talks about it, I guess. It's embarrassing. It's kind of humiliating. Well, it's really very shameful to a lot of people. And what I'm talking about is um, very deep depression and thoughts of suicide. And what I want you to know is that I've been there. I've been there recently. And I'm going to tell you my story very shortly. But I want you to know um, depression is a disease. It's not going to get better on itself, and it's something that needs to be treated. Now, I know that a lot of parents and counselors are, well, have you thought about getting more involved in sports or just buck up and, make yourself feel better? Act like you're interested in life. And I know from experience that that is absolutely unhelpful. It Somebody says, "Well, you need to get help. Go talk to somebody." It's like, well, who? Where? What am I going to do about that? How can I do anything about it? And oftentimes we just don't want to talk about it. We would rather drink and drug and do anything to numb the pain. I've been dealing with depression since I was very young, and now I'm very old, and I was still dealing with it. In September of last year, I was severely, severely depressed. And I thought, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. I can't stand this isolation, this being alone all the time. I am such a loser. I don't even know why I exist. I don't even have any purpose. There's no reason for me to be here. And those thoughts just kept going around and around in my brain. It was so heavy, I couldn't get off the couch. All I did was binge watch TV. I was drinking from first thing in the morning to way late at the night, not even feeling drunk. I'd smoke pot endlessly, all in an effort to just numb that feeling. I watched TV, I watched videos, I did anything to not think about it. And slowly but surely, those thoughts just spiraled down till I was thinking about suicide. Now, a lot of people are going to have problems with this video because they think that I'm doing something to encourage suicide or give you ideas. And we know that that's not the case. Because what happened to me was I attempted suicide several times. And then at one point I thought, what the hell? Am I going to do this or am I going to live? I've got to make a choice. I've got to make a choice. And then I had an interesting thought, and I don't know where it came from. Some would say the universe, others would say God, others would say it just popped into my head coincidentally. But I thought to myself, what if I put as much energy into living as I was putting into dying? That might not be what you say, but for me, it was a game changer. It was a total game changer, and I knew that I needed help. Totally isolated, and I didn't know where do you go to get help? You just go tap on a shoulder of a stranger and say, "Help!" But I knew that I needed it. And I was still so depressed, I could hardly move to go and get it. So finally, I was talking to my sister, who I wasn't very close to at the time. And what she said to me was every day she would call me and just say, "How are you doing? Are you feeling better today?" And Have you thought about getting help? Well, I thought about it, but I don't know where to go. And finally, we decided together I needed to go to the emergency room. I just didn't know what else to do. And fortunately, when I went in there, they told me, well, we can't take care of you here. Great, but we can send you somewhere else. And where you need to go is to this place called Rogers Behavioral Health. Scariest thing I ever did when I went up there and just in the registration place where you give them your name and car license and all that registration stuff, I just thought, I am so ashamed. A woman my age, my education, what am I doing here? And I was so totally ashamed and embarrassed and humiliated. And I thought, I'm going to have to tell complete strangers the deepest details of my life. And this is going to be really, really hard. I didn't know if I could do it. But the next thing I knew, a nurse was there and taking me to the unit. Get this. Well, I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm going to tell you. You had to give up your cell phone, computers, drawing things, and I could take in 5 days worth of clothes. That's it. Fortunately, I got to take my makeup. So I went in there, and that was a life-changing situation. I saw my psychiatrist every day, and he diagnosed me as bipolar and borderline personality. Yes, you can Google those and see what some of the symptoms are. And he prescribed me some medication, and then I was in 6 hours a day of group therapy. Well, let me tell you, this medication just suddenly just worked for me. Now there are going to be different kind of medications for different people, but the medication he prescribed for me was really helpful. And immediately the depression started to lift. Immediately I started thinking about the future. I felt like I had hope. I'm not an unusual case, you guys, because I have been depressed most of my life, seriously depressed. So depressed, I couldn't move. I mean, I couldn't do anything. I had lost all interest in living. And of course, I blamed my parents. I blamed everybody. And what are you going to do? It was a sad, dark place. So I got on this medication. I went to the group therapy, which was awesome. Learning from people that were a quarter of my age, that were so wise and so honest. And I thought, I have found my people. I have found my community because these people understand what I'm going through. And so I left, and after 7 days, and I felt like a new person. This may not happen for you, but it's the one thing when you think, what am I going to do? How long is this going to go on? And when you think that you can't go on, there is help. March yourself right over to that emergency room and just say, I need help. That's the scariest thing to do. But you know what? Sometimes in life, you've got to do the hard things. And I would say right now, that's probably the thing in my life that makes me most proud um, is to do the hard things because it's never failed to help me in some way. And I thought, I tried giving this a speech to a group of people, and it was just like, it was too hard for them. They didn't understand it. And I know a bunch of you guys, you kids, you 14 to 25 years old are going to get this because I know you're dealing with it, because I know I did. And so I want to talk about two things that could be important. One is that when you are depressed, don't hesitate to tell somebody, yes, I am depressed when they ask you. I think that that's paramount. And for the other thing, when you notice somebody, that a classmate, a workmate, um, or it's you yourself, or even somebody in your family, even a parent, when you see somebody who has withdrawn from life, that basically they're not interested in anything, what you need to do is be bold and say, are you depressed? And when you get that yes or even a no answer, here's the next thing that you need to do. Stay in touch with them. Either talk to them personally, face to face, or a FaceTime call, or a one-on-one. Just a phone call. And ask, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? I want you to know I'm thinking about you. That's all you need to say. And call them as often as you can. I'm thinking about you. How are you feeling today? Have you thought about getting some help? Now, don't be the therapist. Don't try to counsel them. Just help them get help. Okay? And so when you recognize that and you see it, don't hesitate to say that. You come alongside them and you when they're ready and say, yeah, I need help, either escort them or tell them to go to the emergency room and they will get help. And then go to um, someplace like Rogers Behavioral Health, a behavioral health clinic. You'll find them all over the place. And march yourself in there and be bold and just say, I need help. You guys, I have been dealing with this for 52 years. I'm old. I wish that I had dealt with this much, much earlier. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say to you. Feel free to comment and tell me what else you need to know. But I am honest. The reason I did this is because I feel a responsibility. I feel like that's maybe why I wasn't successful in my suicide attempts, was purely for this day, this time. I'm not going to make up words or placate you with kind of, you know, dumb things that you and I both know don't work. But give me comments. Tell me what else you need to know. And if you're offended or your parents ban me or whatever it is. But I'm wishing you well. Peace. Peace and joy.